Oh God, help! I've started playing with Buster again. He's doing a little dance. Nobody can see him though because there's no camera on the podcast, which is good because my nipple's out.
Is he hungry?
No. Oh my God.
You say that like, oh, I can't believe you went there, but
He's
I'm just following your lead.
he's
So
a bear familiar. He's not a baby. What is wrong with you?
look, I was not the one to say, and I quote, nipple or nipple out.
Yeah. Well, see, because there's no camera for the podcast streams, I just put on a jammy shirt, and this particular one is Mike, the Swift shirt with the engine on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it has fallen into horrible disrepair because it's
Oh,
been a jammy shirt for a long time now. So it's got a big like rip in. It starts in the armpit because of the way I sleep, and then it just gets
yeah.
bigger and bigger until it's not a shirt anymore. This one's still mostly a shirt,
Uh,
but one of my nipples is out.
So I hear.
Yeah. And now Buster's nursing. No, okay. All right, there, people listening to the YouTube version of this, because all of this before the OJam gets cut in the audio version. Sound off in the comments. About my nipple, apparently. Anyway. All right, I'm sorry. I'm getting mental images of like comments about nipples now, and I don't like it. Oh. And Phineas's nipples out is for OnlyFans. Oh right, I gotta. Well, that's why the camera's not on. See, yeah. It's like I can't just post feet pics for free. What? What have you lost your mind?
Monetized.
Oh, all
Opposite
right.
of
Let's.
demonetized.
Whew. All
You
right, I'm
okay?
okay. I didn't quite get to the point where I started crying because I was laughing, but it's close. Let me take a drink. Okay, everybody good?
yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Everybody else's nipples out.
Unfortunately, no.
With the shirt I've got on, that would be a bit complicated. So I'll just leave that to you.
Oh. Dirk, get your nipples out.
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Sorry, Cyclops said if y'all don't stop talking about nipples, my wife is gonna start asking questions.
Start?
That is your fault for not listening to the podcast on headphones.
Okay, here we go. Oh, jam. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Manapool. Oh, this is episode 727. Oh, hey, we're back to another palindrome.
Cool.
And I'm Chewy, and please don't ask what I'm wearing. I have these other dorks here. Feel free to ask what they're wearing.
I'm Brian. I'm the rambling guy, the tangent master, and wow, did I just have a senior moment? I'm here to talk a lot, and I have on a nice pair of jeans and a shirt.
I'm Mike. I'm the rules guy and the game lore guy. I have on an okay pair of jeans and my Swift shirt with the boxer fighting the Minotaur.
And I'm Dirk, the self-proclaimed greenest man alive and moral compass of the group. And I'm wearing some just athletic pants and my shirt, which I got from Charleston when I went to the USS Yorktown.
Is it still called
Nice.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just checking. I am also wearing a Swift shirt, mostly. Huh. All right, so Final Fantasy. This is our final Final Fantasy set episode, not counting the one where we're going to look at the commander decks, which looks like it might be a while for that one. But it's not like those commander decks are going anywhere, right?
No.
And it's not like anybody can actually afford to buy them, so it's not like it's time sensitive.
Nope.
For our backdrop, for you watching the video version, one, hi, I'm glad you survived the pre-show bit, and two, you can see we've got the art for Suplex in the background, because even though we already talked about Suplex, it's so great.
It is.
I love it. I think I brought it up that time. Yeah, last time. That time.
That time.
Yeah.
Apologies for no episode last week, but there was no episode last week, so yeah. Whew. Okay, so let's get to it.
Okay, I got the first one.
What?
Mike
I
is
got
ready
the
to
first
go.
Yeah, because
Oh.
it's something absolutely integral to Final Fantasy that hasn't come up yet because it just wasn't in the card image guide the last time we looked. And I think it's really cool and fun. Who knows whether it's good, but we'll see. It's in red, and it's called Random Encounter.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's one of the only flashback cards that doesn't actually depict like a flashback in a game. But
Huh.
but it works. It works for what it is cuz you want to cast this more than once.
Yes. So, well, I mean, it's kind of a flash way back to Final Fantasy II because that's where the art is concepted from. It's an uncommon sorcery that costs 6. It costs 4 red. But here's what it does. Shuffle your library, then mill 4 cards. Put each creature card milled this way onto the battlefield. They gain haste. At the beginning of the next end step, return those creatures to their owner's hand. And it has a flashback cost of 8. Flashback cost is 6 red. So big investment. 6 mana or 8 mana. Not trivial at all, but the ceiling on this is way high.
I mean, so the immediate comparison is to like sneak attack, but
Yeah.
or sneak attack in sorcery form. I'm sure they've done that.
Yeah,
with
sneak
something.
attack or through the breach would be sneak attack and sorcery.
Through the
form.
breach. Thank you. But that's one where you select what it is.
Yeah,
I
you know
also
what happened.
yeah. I also actually really like the fact it fits in Red's randomness and again random encounter that you shuffle your library first. So you can't short of playing Doomsday, Mike, and then you can't really guarantee what you're gonna get.
Oh, Bone Harvest.
There you go. Well, that
But this
Bone Harvest would
shuffles.
increase the density of creatures in the deck, but
Yeah.
Isn't
the
there
shuffle
one
would
where you
still
get?
put them somewhere else.
Isn't there one where you get cards from your graveyard and put them on top?
Well, yeah, Bone Harvest is it, but the very first
Oh God,
word
it starts
on
with
random
shuffle,
encounter
doesn't it?
is shuffle your
Yes.
library. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did I miss
So
that?
so that you specifically can't. This is almost a bit of sneak attack meets warp world, or maybe it's just a lesser warp world since
Okay,
warp
here we
world already
go.
kind of does this.
So you do Mana Severance.
There you go.
So you have a deck that's all lands and creatures. There we go. And a couple of spells. You do Mana Severance, then Bone Harvest. It's a Grixis.
That's kind of how actually that's kind of how my Killer Instinct deck is set up. It's just Killer Instinct, land, and creatures, and then a couple of land searching spells, but not very many.
Yeah. We're working hard to try to make this, good. like stupid.
Oh,
good.
it can be.
Yeah.
You have to work really hard.
Yeah.
But it can.
As it is, like taken without any sort of shenanigans, it's just fun.
Yeah. Which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
I actually
There-
leaned on them for my
Go ahead.
headset. Yes, you have to work really hard, but it can be done.
Yeah. There are a lot of these like game mechanic cards in the set, which I did not foresee when this started. Like, if you go back up to white,
I know where you're
menu.
going. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. That's
we
cool,
were gonna get there. Yeah.
But
So
like,
which battle menu do?
I did not at all expect this. I thought it would be like about the stories of Final Fantasy, but no, here we have game mechanics. Battle menu is an instant for 1 and a white that says choose one. Attack, create a 2/2 knight. Ability, target creature gets +0/+4 until end of turn. Magic, destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Or item, you gain 4 life. And this is the very definition of more options, more better.
Mhm.
And I love the fact aesthetically that they are laid out, and the art is from 6, and they are laid out in the order that the battle menu would be laid out in 6. Like
Well, yeah.
the way that this reads, it literally looks like the battle menu. And I know you're like, well, duh, but no, like the way that this encapsulates it is perfect. I think, are they fighting off against Humbaba? I think that's Humbaba.
I think that's that. I couldn't remember
Silly
its name.
Terra, you shouldn't be fighting with the group yet. But that's dumb nitpicky me. This is gorgeous, and I love what this card represents. Another one
Was Terra not
that's
in the
kind of
party
more.
when you fought Baba?
No, because she tries to take it on herself and gets beaten, and then later you come back and Humbaba reappears, and she's like, I can't do it, I can't fight anymore, and you get beat down, and then she trances, and she's like, wait, I can do this. Another one that's similar is in blue, and it's Travel the Overworld. Unless you had more you wanted to say about Battle Menu. All of the modes are good.
Yeah, no, it's just for 2 mana. All of
for
that is
2
amazing.
mana. Yeah. I would pay 2 mana instant speed to get a 2/2 knight.
I think that's going to be like the default
Yeah.
one. Everything, like if you draw it and nothing else is going on, then oh yeah, get a 2/2. Everything else is
Yeah.
situational.
I can see the knight being used almost all the time, and then the destroy the large creature being the next most useful, just because. Yeah.
And then the other 2 are just super situational.
Mhm.
Yeah. But going to blue, Travel the Overworld is an uncommon. It's a sorcery. And I'm going to skip one line on it for now. It costs 5 and 2 blue to draw 4 cards, which is very expensive. You probably wouldn't want to pay that. But draw 4 cards is really good. Now, what I skipped over is this has affinity for towns, so it costs 1 generic mana less to cast for each town you control. And there's a lot of towns. We've discussed some of them. I don't think we've discussed all of them yet.
No.
So,
I mean, most of them are just the dual lands.
yeah.
But yeah, that's.
But so,
I mean, let's think in like limited terms, like at the pre-release tomorrow night.
yeah.
Chances are you're gonna have 3 towns in your deck, probably more, maybe more. I think the dual ones are common, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah. So you stand a good chance of getting 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you manage to somehow, like, there are some things that care about that search out towns and whatnot. So if you happen to get all of them out, you can draw 4 cards for 4 mana.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Which is-
stupid.
That is stupid. I could even see late in the game drawing 4 cards for 5 or 6 mana
And
just to
be
draw
perfectly
four
happy with
cards.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 5 mana puts it on the same level as Tidings, which is like actually good.
Yeah. Is Tidings an instant?
No, Tidings is a sorcery.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
There is an instant opportunity that costs 6. That's pretty good, but 6 is a lot.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's another one where it's less about the fact that it's travel the overworld in particular. The name isn't just travel the world, see the sights, whatever. It's like, no, no, no. This is when you leave a town and your character suddenly is much bigger than the surrounding landscape and you're moving around, So
Yeah, like
I love what it represents.
it could be oh, what was that? It could be called walking on the world map. Like
Yeah. That's basically what it encapsulates. I feel like there's an artifact that ties into this as well.
yeah,
World
I
map or
asked the
something.
chat because they probably know more than we do. I
Uh,
have like 2 rows of black that didn't load. What is that about? What? The first black card I see is Fang. And there's just a big loading thing here. What? Okay, hang on. Color. We'll turn off black, or we'll make it just black. No, we'll make it just blue. Then go back to black. There they are. Okay. Good old WotC website. I love it.
The flavor text for Elixir is straight out of a game. It's not like it's not anything. How do I say this? I think I just have to read it. So,
I wish you would.
Elixir for 1 mana, which by the way, that's a really discounted price on elixirs. Usually they cost what, like a million gil or whatever. But elixir for 1 mana is an artifact. It enters tapped. It's uncommon. You can pay 5 mana. There's the expensive part. And tap and exile this artifact. Shuffle all non-land cards from your graveyard into your library. You gain life equal to the number of cards shuffled into your library this way. And I'm like, okay, cool. It's a restocking sort of thing. It goes into you're refreshed, right? The flavor text is fully recovers HP and MP. And I'm not abbreviating, they abbreviate that. It doesn't say like this will fully refresh you. One sip of this will make you feel young. No, it just literally the game text. If you go to your menu and you select elixir in 4, it's fully recovers hit points and magic points. So
Yep.
they did something similar with Ether in blue.
that's in blue. What does ether do?
Okay, wait a minute. Before we move
Sorry.
away, what in the hell is this on the elixir?
That's
It says it's from
one of the
4.
Yeah, it's one of the moon people, like Naming Way, because they have the store where you can buy elixirs.
Naming Way's a rabbit person?
Yes. There's a hidden village on the moon. When you go there, all the little rabbit people are like playing lutes, or whenever you talk to them, they give off a little do 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 do. And one of them mentions my cousin went to the blue planet. He's really good at naming stuff or something. But if you talk to one of them, he has a shop. It's one of the only shops I think where you can buy elixirs. So yeah,
I mean, I will assume you were explaining that to the audience, not to me. But I've never read Naming Way or any of those as rabbit people. Like, that's just not what this sprite looks like to me. I'm going to have to go look him up again. Huh. Okay, anyway, so in blue, Ether.
Right. Yeah, let me scroll back up to it. I went down to look at the art for Elixir while we were talking.
There it
is. Yeah, I mean, the flavor text just says restores 20 MP. The effect is cool. It costs 3 and a blue for an uncommon artifact, and it's a mana rock, but it's a one-use mana rock. So you tap and exile it and add 1 blue mana. When you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy.
So this is really interesting to me because a lot of fork effects, the doubling effects, you have to have it in hand, and it usually costs more. So like think about like a fork, it's 2 red, you play the other spell, and then while you hold priority, you play fork. This is almost the opposite. You play this before you play whatever you're going to copy, and yes, it does cost 4, but then when you tap and sacrifice this, you actually add a mana, so that goes toward that instant or sorcery. It doesn't have to if you want to be super tricksy about it. It just says next time. It doesn't say you have to use this mana, but I mean, really, it has to be this turn. So this is like the fork that you pay for in advance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like it.
because you bought the ether already.
Yeah.
And it's just in your inventory.
So, I don't know if we've already mentioned it. Did we talk about Diamond Weapon in green?
We have not yet.
I don't think so.
So, Diamond Weapon for 7 and 2 green, total of 9, is an 8/8 legendary artifact creature elemental that's uncommon. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each permanent card in your graveyard. It has reach and immune, which is prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to Diamond Weapon.
So it doesn't have indestructible. It can still be destroyed by Doomblade, etc. But in combat, it's invincible.
Mm-hmm.
Cloud can't defeat it. It has to take a Sister Ray to the face to die. I think it's the only one of the weapons, like the creature weapons from 7 to appear.
That seems really good for an uncommon.
It does. It costs
can be.
9, kinda, because by the time you play it, it's probably costing. I don't know, what do you think? 6?
Yeah, 5 or 6. If the game hasn't gone on super long.
Yeah.
Just long.
I feel like you guys are underestimating how many permanents get put in your graveyards.
I don't know.
That is
I
true.
feel like there have been. Well, I'm also thinking about like limited. I feel like there have been several limited events where I've been like, oh boy, and then I realized it takes a lot longer than I thought to get like a bunch of permanents in the graveyard.
In limited, yes, although you will eventually get there because just trading stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In constructed, and I'm not talking about top tier constructed, but like in arena or whatever, I'm reminded that Terramorphic Expanse and Fabled Passage are things that are permanents that you sacrifice. So that's something. You could do this in a ramp deck, and it's not like, oh my god, this is going to take over, but it is an 8/8 that can't be killed in combat. So
Sure. It can be chump blocked forever, but eventually you're going to run out of chump blockers.
this can tank a Jumbo Cactar all day long.
This can tank Death Touch creatures all day long.
It can.
That's...
Mike, we have the answer to the 1/1 with Death Touch.
Yes, we have the technology.
All it took was 9 mana.
So,
oh, that's great.
Another one that chat mentioned, up in blue, Combat Tutorial.
Yes, I'm glad they mentioned that. That's great.
I love this card, like from a just basic flavor perspective. It was posted in the Discord, and somebody was like, mechanically, I don't get it, but it's cool. And I was like, no, it makes perfect sense, because for 2 and a blue, it's a sorcery, it's common. Target player draws 2 cards, and you put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control. So you're teaching, you're gaining knowledge because it's a tutorial, so you draw 2 cards, and your character's getting better, so or your player character's getting better, so you put a +1/+1 counter on it. It's so good.
Yeah.
And
Two
I mean, for
cards,
3
yeah.
mana, that's just oh crap, what's
Isn't concentrate?
divination?
Yeah,
It's
divination.
just divination and a +1/+1 counter. Like,
Yeah. Just straight up divination with a +1/+1 counter.
yeah, it's good stuff. And then,
And
oh, go ahead.
and I love the flavor of it too, because it's totally the beginning of 10, where after the whole thing with Xanarkand and you're wandering around. Is it Balam? No, Balam is in 8. Oh, the bleeding is. I'm starting to get them confused. But you're wandering around.
Is Spira is the name of the?
Spear's the name of the planet. I'm trying to think of the place where Walk is from.
Oh, the place where Walk is from. I don't.
Besaid?
That
Island?
sounds right. That sounds right.
And you run into quote unquote random encounters, but they're scripted. And Lulu is like, "Here's how elements work, you dingus." Also, on the theme of game mechanics, is actually right beneath this is eject. For 3 and a blue is an instant, and of course it's an instant because it needs to be. This spell can't be countered. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and draw a card. And it shows Aerith flying away from what looks like probably the Midgar Zolom, the snake in the swamp that usually ride a chocobo to get around. And it took me a second to really kind of put through what was happening. I guess going back and being as old as I was, what I'd prefer to see in this picture to make me go aha would be like Typhon sneezing on somebody off the airship, because that's what this is. This is the
That's a card. It might be a commander card. I'm not sure, but there
Okay.
is a card with Typhon and Ultros on the airship, and I think they're blowing somebody off.
Okay. I have not looked at the commander cards except for the first batch that were shown. Not to I kind of just wanted to focus on this, especially before the pre-release, and to try to hit the commander ones fresh when we get to them. Plus, I'm probably never going to buy any of them, but that's
Yes,
its own
Snort.
thing.
Is that in this set,
Snort.
or is that in a commander? It must be in commander. Okay.
It's not coming up when I search. But this is what's happening in the card. This is when you're in a battle, and the monster has some way to eject, literally to remove a party member from combat. And usually if that happens to all of your party members of the last one, you don't lose. You just start over outside of the battle. But it's usually reserved for enemies where you really want to beat them. There's some reward or something, and so you have this mechanic where, oh, you can't revive them. It's not like they're dead or zombified. They're just out of the battle entirely. So I like the representation. As a card, I don't know. For 4, even with draw a card, this feels expensive for essentially an unsummon effect. I feel like for 4, it's a lot.
Yeah, it can't. Well, it can be countered means a lot more nowadays because of the prevalence of instant speed effects that give hexproof and the ward ability.
I was about to say, does
counters
this interact with ward?
It does, yeah. You can just choose not to pay the ward cost, but it won't counter this spell. You'll be fine.
That's gross.
That's true. I didn't think about that. That does make it better.
Yeah, so
And it does replace itself.
You've got the 1 in a blue for the bounce, maybe 2 in a blue, an extra 1 for draw card, and the can't be countered is just sort of thrown in there. Because boomerang is blue. Although it does say non-land, so that would be 1 in a blue. So yeah, one more for the draw card and 1 more for the can't be countered. Seems about right.
Okay. Yeah. maybe not going to be my favorite. Again, I do like the representation because I'm like, aha, I get what you're going for.
Yeah.
But
And Phineas pointed out it doesn't stop hexproof, because with hexproof you can't target it in the first place.
right.
But it does stop ward.
No, I'm not talking about something that has hexproof built in. I'm talking about giving something hexproof in response to protect it. But Judge and Phineas is bringing something else up. Did they change the rules about that? Does it not actually counter the spell anymore in the detailed rules?
Oh. You're
Does it just
going
cause
over
it to
my head a
not
bit.
resolve?
Your
I don't
face
know why I
doesn't
don't
resolve.
remember this.
Got him.
Anyway, we'll get an answer in a few minutes in the chat.
Yeah, I'm sure Phineas will respond to that. But we should scroll down also in blue to Ultros, because we haven't talked about Ultros yet. And Ultros
We
is
have
such
not.
a silly creature and such a silly card.
This is pretty silly. Yeah.
So, also, Dirk, are you muted?
Nope, I'm here.
Okay. Just don't have anything to say. Got it.
They've just been kind of fun to read and
He
listen
he
to.
brought up the diamond weapon, so
Yep.
one day Dirk will
And I got a
mention
bunch more I
card,
want to bring up too in just a little bit.
No. Okay.
and how many of them are in green.
And Phineas said it just
One's
doesn't.
multicolor.
Oh my god. And Phineas said it just doesn't resolve since it's an illegal target because hexproof.
Yeah, and I had forgotten that is a change within the last few years. The rules of the game don't specifically counter a spell in that instance. It just doesn't resolve.
Oh. Okay, so Ultros.
Yep, Ultros Obnoxious Octopus. For 1 and a blue,
I guess
he's a
Dirk will read
2/1. Do what?
I said I guess
Go
Dirk will
ahead.
read this one.
Yeah, I guess I will. For a 2/1, he's a legendary creature octopus that is uncommon. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Because he would used to, go and whack people with his tentacles and everything during combat.
Yeah, didn't he have an ability where he could like hit someone and they would end up paralyzed or something?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
You fought him 3 or 4 times, so
The big
4
one I
times.
remember is he used to shoot ink at people and it would blind them.
Yes.
Maybe
that
that's
was
what this, because there's no real way to represent that in Magic. Maybe that's what this is.
All right, and there's a second part. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 8 mana was spent to cast it, put 8 +1/+1 counters on Ultros.
I don't think that has a mechanical, like a story thing to go with it. I think it's just funny.
I mean,
Oh.
I think it's just funny, but if you really want to try to justify it, you do fight him over and over again, and so he
He
kind of
does
Does get
scale.
levels up with
progressively
you.
harder.
He does scale up in difficulty each time, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much the best that I got. But I think it's more just the 8.
Yeah,
I
it's
do
just-
like
he's
how
an obnoxious octopus. Yeah.
I do like how this works, and there's a card in gold that we haven't talked about yet that uses a similar mechanic that talks about whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if you spend this much mana,
Ooh, what is it?
that is helpful for the tiered spells, which I think we only talked about 1 or 2 of, that are like Curaga, that sort of thing, because the converted mana cost of that spell is always just what's in the upper right-hand corner, but you could be spending a lot more mana on the spell, which would trigger Ultros. Right, Mike?
That's right.
Great.
Do you remember what that card was in multicolored, Brian?
Oh, yeah, it's Tella.
Was it Tella?
Tella,
Oh,
yeah.
there he is.
Yeah.
What's
Read
he
Tella
doing?
for us.
What?
Do you want? If you haven't read them, then read them now.
Oh, okay. So for 3, a blue and a red, Tella is a legendary human wizard. Not a sage, because that's not a thing in Magic. Is it? I don't think that's a thing.
I don't think so.
No.
So he's a rare 3/3. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you create a 1/1 hero. Okay. If 4 or more mana was spent to cast that spell, you draw 2 cards. Oh, if 8 or more mana was spent to cast that spell, sacrifice Tella, and it deals that much damage to each opponent.
which is super flavor text.
Yeah.
Oh
Super
yeah, like
flavorful.
that is
There's no
Tella. So spoilers for the end of Final Fantasy IV. It's not even the end, but Tella
it's like halfway, yeah.
has to. He learns Meteor, I guess, and in Super Nintendo it was called Meteo. But he
Mhm.
learns Meteor, but he doesn't have enough MP to cast it. Like his MP is capped at 90, and Meteor costs 100. But he converts his HP to MP, thus sacrificing himself to cast a giant damaging spell at the bad guy. So that last part is brilliant. The other two, I don't get the summon a hero, but the other one is just, he knows more, like he knows all the magic essentially. So that one,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. For a lot of the beginning of the game, especially for the regular SNES version, he just would slowly learn spells, but not at the rate of the younger characters. But I believe in the original version and its remakes, he has a special ability called Recall, where he's like, I used to know this spell, and he just casts a random spell because he's trying to remember it. And then at a certain point
Yep.
in the story, he's like, oh, I remembered all the spells I lost, and he's granted Meteor. Um, but yeah, so I feel like that could be somewhat of a justification. The first ability to just get a hero, that's just to make this card amazing, because getting a free dude every time you cast a non-creature spell, it's not even just the first time each turn. That that adds up.
Oh yeah.
Um, just yeah, but then
And
he also has
remember,
that language with the if it has this much mana spent on it. So
this is a thing I always get caught up in the flavor because Tella's a magic, a spellcaster. But non-creature spell means artifacts and planeswalkers.
yes,
So you can drop, your a couple of cheap artifacts and get a couple of free dudes.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty good. And then that last ability is straight up just you lose Tella, you get a 1/1, you draw 2 cards, and you blast each opponent.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty good.
And because of the way this is written, if you were to cast an 8 mana spell, all 3 trigger, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
it's what I'm
Mm.
here. Yes.
Which is in fact what Brian just said. Yeah.
Oh.
It's okay, Dirk. I still love you. But yes, yes. And keep in mind, it could be 10 mana, and you deal 10 damage.
Nope.
Spoiler alert, Bahamut costs 9. Oh, but Bahamut is not a non-creature spell. Yeah, the summons are gonna mess people up because they're actually creature spells. So
Yeah.
So speaking of cheap artifacts and also game mechanics, world map in artifacts came up.
yes, I think I started to allude to this earlier. Yeah.
And it's nice and basic and simple. Like you pay 1 for it. It's a common artifact. You pay 1, tap and sack it. Search your library for a basic land. Put it in your hand, or you pay 3 and tap and sack it to search your library for a land.
Yeah.
Reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle. So
Yeah, I like that.
pay 1
I like
for
that
basic
quite a bit.
land. Pay 3 for land.
Yeah.
And it's from Final Fantasy 1, which I'm glad that they put it in Final Fantasy 1. Final Fantasy 1, like, actually, the world map was kind of almost a secret.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was in the manual. I think you have to hold B and press select, and that'll bring up the world map. But you learn it in
Pretty
game
arcane.
by talking to a broom. One of Matoya's brooms speaks backwards, and it says, push B select backwards, and then it goes, a magic spell. And if you realize this backwards, you'll be like, wait, and you push B and hit select, and a world map will come up, and you go, whoa! I did that as a kid, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, that's cool.
Also, the world map is basically useless in Final Fantasy 1. It is just a basic graphic. I think it has little dots to represent towns. Maybe I could be just thinking of the Pixel remaster. I don't even know if it has a little thing to indicate where you are. I think it might, but I can't remember. So hey, Dirk, you said you had several. What you got?
Go to multicolor and find Rydia, Summoner of Mist.
Where is
Yes.
she? There she is. Oh, look at Rydia in her green dress.
Mm-hmm. So she is red green, a 1/2 legendary creature human shaman who's uncommon, has landfall.
Wait, an uncommon human shaman.
Do what?
An uncommon human shaman.
Yep. When a land you control enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card.
Oh, so she rummages. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
She also has Summon, which is pretty awesome. So for X and tap, return target Saga card with mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. It gains haste until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery.
Yet another variation on summoners.
Yes.
In this set,
which I like.
I like this one also.
Yeah, they all work so well for what they want to do. Her, Dagger, or Yuna, or yes.
Yeah, they're very much like, we're keeping these things out, and they're going to wreak havoc.
Well, and so some of them keep them out. Like I think
Dagger
Princess
does
Garnet.
that.
Garnet removes counters. Rydia brings them back with finality counters. I think Yuna does the same, right? And Terra does something similar. She's not a summoner, but she is tied to the Espers. There's another card in green.
Also,
that
wait a
if
minute.
you just search, go ahead.
Sticking with Rydia real quick, the way Rydia summons work, they're just magic spells. Like you summon Shiva. Shiva comes out, goes and then is gone and does damage, right? And I think that's why they get haste from Rydia's ability, because that's what she does. Is she summons them, they do their thing immediately. Mm-hmm. That's how I'm choosing to read it anyway.
No, that works.
They don't come out and like, we're gonna hang around for a little bit and go back through the sequence. They come out and only cast the last sequence, correct?
Yes, I think it was 10 that was the first one where that's stuck around.
No, that's not how they work at all. They still get the one to start and go through the whole sequence, but my point is they can attack immediately instead of having to wait a turn.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Well, that was why I was like, a finality counter. Does that mean like it starts with the last one?
Oh, that just means if they die, they get exiled.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I misunderstood Dirk's question. So okay.
Right? That is what what finality counter means, right?
Yeah, that's what finality counter.
Yes. Basically,
so after this, they're gone.
Yeah.
Mechanically, so you can't keep pulling the same one back over and over again.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a balance thing rather than a flavor thing.
Yeah.
I got you.
But it works, yeah. If you did like I did and you just search for Rydia, there's another card in green that starts with Rydia's name, and it is depicting a rather iconic moment in 4. And the flavor text is literally the game text from that moment.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So Rydia's return for 3 and 2 green, worth every penny, trust me. Uncommon, sorcery. You choose one. Either creatures you control get +3/+3 until end of turn, so it's a mini overrun. Well, I say mini, but there's no trample. Or return up to 2 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. That is very versatile.
Yeah.
And it's not game breaking at 5, but I like both of those options.
More options, more better.
Or better. Yeah. You're fighting Golbez and you are literally about to die and you're paralyzed, and then Rydia shows up, uses heal on you so that you can move, casts Mist Dragon to blow away the Shadow Dragon, and says, "Are you okay? You should be able to move now." And the battle kind of resumes. You can actually lose that battle, by the way. For a while, I was like, Final Fantasy IV was not super hard, especially on the SNES. But there was one time where I just wasn't paying attention as a kid, and I was playing through that battle. I didn't do anything. And Galvez was like, "Blow you up," and I'm like, "Oh no, I have to fight the stupid freaking dolls again."
I got hung on
On
that part at
the
one point. Like,
if you
not when
aren't
I was a
fast enough
kid.
to kill all the
Like,
dolls,
when I was replaying it a few years ago, I got hung on that point because I was running through the game and I could beat the dolls, and then Golbez would show up, and instead of just stunning us all, he would just kill us. And I'm like,
oops. If you make Kane jump at just the right time, he won't get paralyzed, and the Shadow Dragon will overlook him.
it is pretty funny.
Yeah. But anyway, total Final Fantasy IV nerd. You should keep moving. I can keep talking about this for a while. So,
What
what's
else you
something
got,
else?
Dirk?
What's something? What else is from the chat or Dirk? Dirk of the chat.
We're gonna go with the Wandering Minstrel. That's in multicolor.
Who the hell is that? I saw that earlier and I was like, I don't know what that is.
So it's green blue.
No, it's from 14. Okay.
I'm right there with you, but the ability's cool. So a legendary creature, human bard, that's rare and is a 1/3. And it says lands you control enter untapped.
That, if you stop right there, that's nuts.
That is the most important part of spelunking. And I don't know if you play Arena or yeah, as much as Mike and I do, but spelunking is played a lot.
A lot.
But, like, I don't know what a spelunking is, but I know there are so many lands that enter tapped to balance them. There's so many. Basically, all of the search spells put the lands into play tapped to balance them. Like,
Yeah.
having that just be the first line on a 2-drop, that's stupid. Like, stupid good. Like, that's ridiculous. But okay, keep going. What else does this thing do?
All right, it also has Minstrel's Ballad, which says at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 5 or more towns, create a 2/2 elemental creature token that's all colors.
Okay.
Not bad. And then last bit says for 3 and Wooburg. Other creatures you control get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of towns you control.
Good lord.
Other creatures, plural. So he essentially gives everybody, was it inspiration?
I mean,
A little bit.
gives them giant beatstick.
All right, Piccolo said the Wandering Minstrel's modeled after and the proxy of Yoshi P, the creator of Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. Oh.
Oh, okay. So it's a little like tribute to one of the creators.
So
Yeah,
that's
that's cool.
interesting. But, like... So, okay, your lands enter untapped. That's good.
Yes.
If you have 5 or more towns, which if this is in your deck, you probably do, he spits out a free 2/2 every turn. That's good. And then, you know, for the late game, he's got make everybody a big ass. Because presumably, again, if this is in your deck, you probably have a lot of towns in your deck, thinking, in constructed. So that's
Probably.
pay 8 to give all of your creatures. At least +5/+5.
At least 5 +5/+5, if not more. And want to know the really stupid thing if you have too much mana is that's not a tap ability. Because what's better than killing is overkilling. Heck, overkill is a card in the set.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's from 10.
Oh. Is
Because
it in
that's
red?
a mechanic in. No, it's in black. It's a mechanic from 10. Mike, have you read Overkill yet?
Not out loud with the group, but yes, I have seen it.
Oh, this one.
Yeah,
I sent this to
Overkill.
you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. For 2 and a black, it's an uncommon instant. Target creature gets -0, -9999 until end of turn.
Why not?
So dumb.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I think in 10 wasn't Overkill when you dealt a significant amount of damage over the enemy's remaining HP and you got bonus experience?
I think you got bonus. I can't remember if you got bonus experience, but I know you got some bonus item drops.
Oh, like spheres. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Okay.
what I love about this is it puts the quad 9s on a card in the Final Fantasy set, which is beautiful.
Yes.
It's a nice murder variant. It gets around indestructibility, but it doesn't have that obnoxious problem of the stuffy doll problem. Like if it dealt 9999 damage to a creature, that opens up way too many just stupid things where you could overkill for 3 mana and some shenanigans. You could just instant kill anybody. And
Yeah.
no, that's silly. So I really love the way that they did this.
Yeah. And it only costs a single black mana. Yes, it costs 3 mana, but there's no. This is super splashable, is my point.
As good removal should be.
As
Not
good
great
should be.
removal, but good removal.
But murder costs 2 black, so this. Yeah, I really like this quite a bit. There's a decent amount of destruction in this set. So I think you have to get used to your permanence.
That's going to be in
the
standard?
Magic
What are you
set.
talking about?
I feel like for limited, there's a lot of things just blow that up.
Oh my god, the
ooh.
demon wall has a. Oh, it's not the demon wall I know. It's the one from 14. 14 is overrepresented. I'm just going to say.
Okay.
I feel like that.
You know
I feel
why
like
I
that
say
too.
that? Because I don't play 14.
Because I have gone to lengths before to say, hey, and we've all said this. If somebody else enjoys something, let them enjoy it. Don't crap on it. And also, apparently, lots of people like 14 because keep in mind it was one of the 4 chosen pre-constructed decks, right? One of the commander decks.
Yeah.
Well, it was what 6, 7, 10, and 14. But I do swear, when I was looking through the card image gallery as previews were still going, I was like, another 14, another what? So
Chewie
and
has
I think
reverse.
like Chewy, I think I feel it more because I've never played it. So that probably contributes. But if you love 14, if you don't love the set, then I don't know what to tell you.
Well, the part of the reason why 14 is kind of overrepresented is it's an MMO.
Yeah.
So because of that, it's had multiple expansions added to it, which is the equivalent of having, you if the original game was Final Fantasy,
Hmm.
4, well, it's had 5, 6, and 7 added onto it.
Yeah. I get that. I do. And, my limited experience with MMOs like EverQuest notwithstanding, I know that you can get into those and never come out. Or, you might have hopped on 14 and then 15 came out and you're like, I'm still playing 14. And then 16 came out and you're like, okay, I'll try that. I'm still playing 14 because it's more of an investment. So I get that. And again, I'm not here to poo-poo on anybody. I just when I see like Demon Wall, I'm like, oh yeah, that first showed up in, and it's in 14. So I mixed feelings maybe about like when they push some of these things off to those sets, but at the same time, they realize, hey, somebody's first encounter with Demon Wall maybe have been in 14. So okay,
Okay, now that Brian is done trying desperately not to offend the people that play Final Fantasy 14, I don't care if you play Final Fantasy 14, it's overrepresented. On the screen right now is a breakdown of the cards from each game in the set that Chifuji posted in the Discord earlier today. And Final Fantasy 14, not counting the commander cards, has 45 cards, which is the most.
that's
7
more
has
than
43,
7.
which is the second most. The next two are 27, and that's 6 and 9.
I
Like
mean,
that's
I
that's too much.
I love 7. I really love 7, but I feel like that's
And like
there is a point where you feel like 14-7, 14-7 when you're looking through this. So,
but like I get it.
I
They are by far the most popular uh parts of the Final Fantasy franchise, like inescapably numerically.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I get it, but that doesn't mean I have to like it.
Yeah. I'm just going to I think since day 1, I've just been like this set is awesome. This set is awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I was bummed when Friday last week came and I'm searching the completed list. I'm like, there's no Zemus or Zeramus.
Yep.
Most of the final bosses were here. I say that now. There's no Necron. There's no Vayne Solidor, or in the final form, it's called the Undying. So these are. It's not that 4 was the only one to not get its final boss. I also know that we haven't finished like our series on the Final Fantasy final bosses, but I do feel like more of the bosses that are here are more the ones that you see through the whole game. Like you see Kefka through the whole game. You don't have Emperor Gestalt here because he doesn't really matter. You don't have Yu Yevon here because he only shows up at the very end, but you see Jet, and I think we covered Jet
Mhm.
last week. And you don't see Zemus or Zeramus, and I make a little sad face, but you do have Golbez. And the Golbez card, I know I just switched from being critical to being like gushing, but the Golbez card makes me a happy Brian
Where
because
is Golbez?
holy cow. Golbez is in gold. Have you read it yet?
No.
Read Golbez Crystal Collector.
Okay. Golbez Crystal Collector for a blue and a black. All right. Is a human wizard. Technically not right. He's rare. He's a 1/4. Okay. Whenever an artifact you control enters, surveil 1. So that's going to be the crystals.
Yep.
Okay. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 4 or more artifacts, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. All right. Then, if you control 8 or more artifacts, each opponent loses life equal to that card's power. Oh.
So,
Oh.
again, a little unhappy about the lack of representation for 4, but this nails it. Why? It's a 1/4 for 2, which is already pretty good. It's a wizard in a set that likes wizards. Every time you play an artifact, no matter how much that artifact costs, you surveil 1. And then mechanically, At the beginning of your end step, if you have 4 or more artifacts, you get a free creature card from your graveyard back to your hand. That's already good, especially if you have like sacrifice outlets or whatever. And then if you have 8, each opponent loses life equal to that card's power, which means you can just pull off a crazy combo. Hey Draco, how are you doing? It's not converted mana cost, but Draco's still a biggie. Or, Croson Cloud Scraper or whatever you want. Now, flavor wise, when you have the 4 crystals assembled, that's your 4 artifacts, his first ability triggers and he's like, yes. But then if you played the game the whole way through and you discover, oh, there's the dark crystals, that's how you get to 8. And once you have 8, his mission is completed. He's able to do the thing with the tower. And so I love this card from a mechanical standpoint and from a flavor standpoint. I'm boom, done. Love this card. This works on all sorts of levels.
It is pretty good, yeah. Chifuji said that Golbez is getting competitive EDH attention. Huh.
I mean,
I believe it.
Yeah.
Again, for 2 mana. And artifacts do tend to be one of the more inherently broken card types. But yeah, so you see Golbez here because you see him throughout the game. You hear his game a lot earlier, and you only hear about Zemus at the end. Cloud of Darkness is one where it is kind of like a surprise final boss, but it's pretty well known. I was a little disappointed to not have any Vayne in the deck. If you search for Vayne, he's in 12. The only card that comes up with Vayne's name on it is Vayne's Treachery. And it's a pretty good removal spell, but there's not much else to it. So he was an interesting character. It was a very political game, and I feel like 12 didn't get a whole lot of attention. I don't know where that where 12 ended up on the
12
thing,
has the second least amount. Final Fantasy 2 has 11. Final Fantasy 12 has 12. Hey.
16 doesn't have a lot, but 16 was also published as they were making the set. So that's to be understood.
Did we talk about Fat Chocobo?
We have not talked about Fat Chocobo. Sam was like, have you seen Fat Chocobo? The other day, and I was like, no.
Fat Chocobo.
What color is Fat Chocobo in? Is it in white? I
green.
don't see it.
Green.
Also, it's Summon Fat Chocobo, don't forget.
There we go.
For 4 and a green, it's a 4/4 Saga Bird. Common.
Saga Bird.
Saga Bird. Chapter 1 is Wark. Wark? Which I haven't figured out. I think I fall on the Wark side of things, but historically Chocobo have said 2 things, Wark and Que.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Wark was first for me, so. But Wark is chapter 1, create a 2/2 green bird creature token with the landfall +1/+0.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then chapters 2, 3, and 4 are creatures Kerplunk. Creatures you control gain trample until end of turn. So Fat Chocobo drops, brings a bird with it, and then proceeds to bounce around the battlefield for the next 3 turns.
Yeah. A pleasingly plump summon.
Oh, yeah. Good old Fat Chocobo. Yeah, we covered Vivi on, I think, the first of first of these contemporary episodes, not the original one, because Vivi wasn't shown way back then.
It was the first, it was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, wait, go ahead, Zert.
So there's one, I don't know if we've talked about it, and that is the one combine card.
The one combine. combine.
Do you know that there's
the
two cards that
meld.
combine to make one of those, like it was the Eldrazi that combined to make
Yes.
a. And I don't know if we've talked about those two cards.
Is it
We
in
have
the,
not talked about the meld cards
Is it in the
The
yet.
main
If you
meld,
set?
search
that's what it is.
if you search for meld, they come up.
So one of them is Vanille, and that's Cheerful LC, and that's
Is
in
that how that's
green.
pronounced? LC?
Vanille LC, yep.
I thought that was an I at the beginning, but I've never played 13, so I thought it was like icy, like the things you get at the fair.
I mean, it's been a while since I played it, but I'm pretty sure it's LC
Okay.
or ILC, if that's how it is. But that's my recollection of how it is. But anyway,
I don't mean to throw us off more than I already do. Keep going.
so Vanille Cheerful ILC is 3 and a green, is a 3/2 legendary creature, human cleric, that is uncommon. When Vanille enters, mill 2 cards, then return a permanent card from your graveyard to your hand.
Nice.
At the beginning of your first main phase, if you both own and control Vanille and a creature named Fang, Fearless Ilse, you may pay 3 black-green. If you do, exile them, then meld them into Ragnarok Divine Deliverance.
Okay, so
Should we
what
talk?
does...
Why don't we talk about Fang before we talk about Ragnarok?
Yeah, what does Fang... So Fang...
It should be in black, I think.
Yeah, Fang is, as chat is pointing out, Fang in black, Fang in black. Fang in black! Fang for 2 and a black is a 2/3 human warrior. Uncommon. Whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, works with Vanille, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. This ability triggers only once each turn. That's a really cool ability.
Mm-hmm.
Is anyone else noticing every now and then just a little bit of Chewie's words getting clipped off, or is that just me?
I noticed it too.
Yeah, I thought it was just me.
Huh. I wonder if some of my other Discord settings have gotten screwed up. Oh,
I'm
so what
hearing
is-
like literally 19 out of every 20 words, Chewie, so I don't think it's anything to be too worried about. But
Well, I mean,
Okay.
the chat and everybody's hearing me fine, so I don't really care about you guys.
oh, good.
That's how
All
we
right.
feel.
So then the back, when they meld, they become Ragnarok Divine Deliverance, and it's green and black. I have to turn my computer a bit. Is a legendary beast avatar. Is a 7/6 with vigilance, menace, trample, reach, and haste. Again, vigilance, menace, trample, reach, and haste. And when Ragnarok dies, destroy target permanent and return target non-legendary permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. I haven't played 13. Ragnarok occasionally comes up in the games as a very unique summon or sword, or sometimes both. Dirk, did you actually play 13?
I did. I didn't beat it. I got a little over halfway through the game, and then when I got to it was from Cocoon. I was on Cocoon, and then I ended up going back to whatever the original world was. And unfortunately, when I did, I was under-leveled. And so when I got level checked, I could not beat. There were just creatures that I bumped into just as you're going to run and you're going to bump into these creatures and you have no choice about it. And they wrecked me. And essentially I got locked. And there was no way I could go back. I wasn't doing the whole make sure you save a new save file every time. I was just save over the same file, and
Hey, dummy.
yeah, I got level checked real hard, and wherever I was, there was a behemoth that was the next creature, and the behemoth wrecked me every time. And I tried like 5 or 6 times on multiple days to try and beat this thing, and it cleared me out every time. I was just under-leveled for that section of the game, and I was just stuck. And so I gave up.
Whenever Dirk says wrecked me, does anyone else hear Tom Petty in their head? No, just me? Okay.
No.
Because you wreck me, baby. Yeah, you break me in too. So I was screwing with Discord settings. I should be better now. The input sensitivity did get defaulted to auto adjust, which is always wrong. And anybody who uses Discord, including you dorks, should always check your input sensitivity. If it's on auto adjust, uncheck that and just drop it about 10 decibels. It was at minus 60, drop it to like minus 70. You shouldn't have the problem anymore. Let me know if you do. I'll drop it to about 5 more.
Okay.
But Discord's default input sensitivity setting is crap and always has been. So I didn't actually get to hear what this card did, and then it took me way too long to read it because it's freaking 90 degrees, and I was also trying to listen in on the conversation. But this card is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean,
My
milk
only-
cards
Get it
are
out.
allowed to be ridiculous, so.
My only problem is that you can't get back Vanille with the ability on Ragnarok.
I
Right.
think that's on purpose.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But, like, because then you could use the ability on Vanille to get back Fang and just do it all again.
So I was gonna ask when we're done with this card.
I mean, I think we're done with this card, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, and where
It's
I was
just a
going
great,
with
big,
Dirk,
stupid, powerful thing.
Dirk played 13, but didn't play the whole thing because he got level checked. What is the deal with Sarah?
So Sarah is Lightning's sister, and Snow's girlfriend / fiance, and she gets turned into a crystal, which is it's a long story because it's a Final Fantasy game, but in essence, she gets turned into a crystal, and she's out of commission. Although my understanding is she comes back in the sequels.
Okay.
But
Well-
anyway,
Have you seen this card, Sarah Farron, in gold cards?
yes, I have.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. So Sarah Farron, she costs 1 green white, is a 2/2 legendary creature, human citizen that's rare. The first legendary creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast.
Huh.
In a set
Mhm.
full of legendary creatures.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think all the summons are non-legendary, even Bahamut, right? So, but the others are definitely legendary.
Uh-huh. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 2 or more other legendary creatures, you may transform Sarah Farron. She transforms into crystallized Sarah.
What the hell?
And a legendary artifact. The first legendary creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less, just as before. But now, legendary creatures you control get +2/+2.
She's giving everybody her original power and toughness because now she can't attack because she's a crystal. So I'm assuming she can't attack in the game while she's a crystal. Can she be a party
She
member?
never could attack.
Okay.
She gets crystallized at the very beginning of the game.
Ah, spoiler alert. Okay. I like this. There are a lot of legendary cards in the set. I mean, duh, because it's all these actual characters. This feels pretty good. I don't feel like this would be that hard to do. And most of your characters getting a double anthem feels pretty good. So,
Well, and the funny part too is that when we go to the gold cards and you look at the legendary creatures, majority of them will just be two colors. It's whatever their two colors are. There's going to be a sizable number that have 3 costs, so like Tella costs 5. Tella would just cost 3 now. So that makes a huge difference on the mana curve.
But what if it costs 2 less? Dusting that off, so.
Yeah. Because like VV costs 2, all the SIDS cost 2.
I forget. Did we talk
Terra costs 2. Titus costs 2.
Did we forget about?
What was that?
Did we talk about the Cloud of Darkness?
No,
I don't think we did. I don't think
it was talked about that.
Cloud of Darkness and X-Death weren't out yet.
Yeah. I remember I had a discussion about Cloud of Darkness somewhere. It must have been in the Discord. But yeah, Cloud of Darkness is the final boss from Final Fantasy III. Costs 2 black, green, green. Is an uncommon avatar. A 3/3 with flying. And has particle beam. When Cloud of Darkness enters, target creature an opponent controls gets -X until end of turn, where X is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. Which means, essentially, when she particle beams, something dies.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good, yeah. Like, I think the discussion in the Discord isn't this doing the Cloud of Darkness dirty? And I'm like, well, yeah, but they can't all be big, ridiculous Sephiroth level cards.
I think we mentioned last week or last episode when we were talking about like Anima and Anima's limit break and all that. There are so many cards in the set. Not everything can be like final form is a giant explosion because that's just
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a cool way to do it. We talked about what was it, Overkill having that huge -0 quad 9. So this sort of minus effect. And the fact that it's building the more stuff is in your graveyard, the better this is, I think ties in flavorfully as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, because the Cloud of Darkness was trying to destroy all the light, so the more things that are dead, in the darkness. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just liked it when she particle beams, something dies, because that was my experience with. I really hated the end of Final Fantasy III. It was so, at least the final battle was so bad.
It was.
Because the vast majority of the time, she just particle beam every turn. And the one time that I planned on her particle beaming so I didn't try to heal somebody, she didn't. And she just like swung at somebody or something. And I went, what? And then she went back to particle beam every turn. And I'm like, what? Yeah. I thought she couldn't do anything but particle beam every turn because my first time playing against her, that's all she did.
Her script is basically particle beam all the time. There was a 3D remake of 3 which I really liked. It gave the player characters actual identities and personalities, and more of the battles were thought out. And not X-Death. I'm got that up so I don't forget to talk about it next. But Cloud of Darkness actually would do other things. One of the other things I think it could do was heal, though, and that was frustrating.
All right, where's X-Death?
Just below it in gold. Mike, have you seen X-Death?
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I have looked through the whole file at this point.
I still feel in a franchise 16 games worth of entries, X-Death has the most hello, I'm a villain name in the entire franchise. You're never thinking like, will he be redeemed? No, it's X-Death.
And he is like, if he didn't have the mask on, or the helmet on, trying to be Pastel Golbez, he would be twirling his mustache at just light speed.
Like, there are a couple cards that he's on in the set, and I think he's going mwahaha all of them.
Well, yeah,
I think you're right.
He is he's evil and loving it. Not like
Yes.
crazy evil and loving it like Kefka. No, he's just like, I'm the bad guy. Ha! Like, he's here for the evil. And he does not care what you think. I'm evil. Screw you. I am so evil, I'm gonna turn into a splinter, get in your finger, so that you can take me to where the ancient turtle sage is so I can kill it. Like,
That was, in fact, a big part of his plan, yes.
and then they have a giant anime fight. Xdeath is so stupid, I love him. Pastel Golbez.
Mike, what does the card do?
So X Death is the Void Warlock. Only costs 3 mana, 1 a black and a green for a 3/3 Spirit Warlock, and is uncommon as well. When X Death enters, you gain 3 life. Awesome. At the beginning of your end step, if there are 6 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, transform X Death. And the transformed side is Neo X Death, Dimensions End.
What the hell? Someone actually
Yeah.
drew out all of Neo Xdeath.
Oh, which Neo X Death, the sprite is insane. Go ahead,
my
Mike.
God.
So Neo X Death is a star 3 with trample. Neo X Death's power is equal to the number of permanent cards in your graveyard.
Ah, okay.
So at least a 6/3.
Yes, presumably. Mm-hmm.
That, huh.
Yeah.
What's a radium?
There are
uncommon, yeah. Okay.
so many cards in this set that care about cards in graveyard and permanents in graveyards. And there are so many draw a card and discard a card, or discard a card and draw a card effects in this set. Like a lot.
Yes, there are.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably 2 of the what draft archetypes. You remember when we used to have to look at the set to figure out what the draft archetypes are, and nowadays they're just like, here are the draft archetypes that we put in the set, and I'm like, what? All right, thanks. Remember when we used to have to think for ourselves?
Still lots of stuff to talk about. I mean, I don't want to push you guys too much. Do we want to go ahead and just talk about all the tiered cards?
Well, yes, but first we got to talk about King Gyat. So, Giat, King of the Dwarves, is unfortunately named in this day and age. For a red and a white, he's a 1/1 uncommon dwarf noble. With double strike. Hell yeah, 1/1 with double strike. But whenever Giat or Gyat or another dwarf you control enters, and whenever an equipment you control enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. So just more of that we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But the important bit is, okay, for those of you that are old, because I'm sure Brian has no idea what we're talking about. Do you, Brian?
What exactly are you referring to?
Exactly.
Like,
so, Gyat is young person slang for a big old, like, juicy ass.
I did not know that.
That does not surprise me. He has a 13-year-old, but Sam is actually like a wholesome kid, and if Sam did know that, she would never tell her father. So
Yeah. That's not something you make small talk about around the dinner table.
it's like, so how was school? So, Dad, did you know? So yeah, it's really a shame that poor Giat is going to be probably more remembered for that than his role in Final Fantasy IV. But the card's fine, you know.
the card is fine. There's a lot of equipment in the set. So the set has legendary creatures, um, the saga element, the saga creatures, wizards, and lots of equipment and cards that care about equipment. Low key, by the way, for the flavor perspective, I love the fact that I could pick up that this is not him on his throne in his castle. This is him in a tank.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, there's
I had
levers.
not paid
The
attention to the
the
background.
quote is from the whole um we're doing in-game portals before anybody else, you know. People that I'm sorry, people that saw Rise of Skywalker and were like, "Oh, this is totally ripping off the portal scene." Shut up. The whole 11th hour, here's all the characters you've ever seen at the end has been done for literally forever.
Yeah.
And definitely did it in 4. So, but yeah,
So okay, the tiered spells. The first one I know of that we haven't done is Restoration Magic.
I can't spell tier. I am like the worst when it comes to I before E. Yeah, we haven't done restoration magic.
Okay, do Restoration Magic.
So restoration magic is in white. Big surprise. It costs a single white, so that is its converted mana cost is 1. Um, it's an uncommon, and it has tiered, so you choose one additional cost. For cure, the additional cost is 0, so it's just a straight up white. Target permanent gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So it's less kind of like healing and more of like protection. But okay.
Seems
Uh
seems kind of
hmm?
overkill to give both, but okay.
uh Cura just costs 1 generic mana, so remember you're already paying the white and then one more. So basically 2 for target permanent gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. You gain 3 life. And then Curaga for 3 and a white, so a total of 5. Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. You gain 6 life. This is definitely a good answer for a sweeper. But I really do feel like most of the time, just like I think we talked about fire magic, and I think we agreed that fire and Fyra were probably gonna be the most used. And then Firaga was like, whoa. I feel like Cure is almost certainly the hey, I've got 1 mana up, you can't kill my thing, and then the Cura is just a little bit of a bonus on there. Curaga, you're probably gonna see coming a mile away, but is really good.
Yeah,
I like it.
Kiraga is the answer to sweepers, and the other two are answer to spot removal or combat damage.
So in Final Fantasy, usually Curaga are used to regain hit points. You could try to do that here in the magic setting, but because creatures in general, you don't have a creature that has 9,999 toughness. They're usually going to either die in one hit or the damage wears off in a turn. Removing damage is not useful.
Yeah,
So
and if it
this is
was pure life gain, as we've said, life gain by itself sucks.
yeah. It would have to be really good. Like
Yeah.
ridiculously high numbers. But so that's restoration magic. I really like it. I think it's a neat combat trick and it's
Oh yeah.
cheap enough that the two most usable versions you're going to be able to have that mana up pretty much at all times. Have we talked about ice magic? I really can't remember.
Yeah.
I
I
feel like we
thought we
did.
did.
Okay.
So there's one in black that I want to skip over for a minute
Okay.
and go to oh crap, where is it? Is it
Thunder
Thunder?
magic? Yeah, it's thunder.
There it is, Thunder Magic. Okay.
Thunder magic. Thunder magic.
So yeah, Thunder Magic is common. It's instant. Costs a single red. Thunder is deal 2 damage to target creature. It costs nothing extra. So it's a shock. Nice. Thundara costs 3 extra. So it takes it up to 4 to deal 4 damage to target creature. Which seems like 1 too high, but again, you got options.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah. It is a little too expensive, but hey, if that's what you need, sure.
Yeah, like sometimes you got to pay for having the options because more options, more better.
Yep.
And then Thundaga is completely ridiculous for 5 and a red extra, so 5 and 2 red total. Thunder Magic deals 8 damage to target creature.
Yeah.
And again,
so
this is on a common, so that's why I think Thundara and Thundaga are so damn expensive.
Yeah. This is one where, unlike some of those we've talked about, I feel like the most played version will probably be Thunder because it's shock. It's a shock that can't hit a player or a planeswalker, but it's a creature shock.
Yeah.
I almost kind of skip over Thundara and go right to Thundaga for, kill that big thing. But
I mean,
well,
dealing 4 damage is nothing to sneeze at.
It's not. And this isn't instant, so that you have the versatility to time it well.
Yeah. And Infinius points out that there are cards in the set, as we were talking about earlier, that care about how much mana you spend on things, and 4 is one of those breakpoints.
That's true.
So that also,
in fact,
leans into that, yeah.
Yeah, in fact, none of the... Okay, Ice Magic Blizzaga does get up to 8. I'm just seeing how many actually get up to 8. It looks like just Blizzaga. For Tella.
What's the tiered magic in green? Is there one?
There is one. Oh, and it also gets up to 8. It's another limit break, like Vincent's.
Oh.
So
wait, was that it?
That's it. There weren't a ton.
Yeah, it looks
so
like
Resto, Ice, Fire, and Thunder? Oh, boo.
Yeah. I think that it's a neat concept, but it's one where you don't want to put it on a ton of cards.
Yeah, that's fair.
So.
Bless you. All
so
right.
do you want to talk about Vincent or
let's
Tifa's
do Tifa's limit break and then talk about Vincent and his limit break.
Okay.
Oh, wait, we need to talk about Tifa. We never talked about Tifa.
We have, dude. There's a ton of cards in this set. So
Tifa, yeah, but Tifa was here when we did our first one, and Tifa is stupid. Tifa has like turn 2 kill combo potential. So Tifa, for 1 and a green, is a rare human monk. She's a 1/2 with trample. You remember every time they print a 1-power creature with trample, everyone goes, huh, huh, huh. But wait. When she has landfall, whenever a land you control enters, you double Tifa Lockhart's power until end of turn. Chifuji said, turn 2 in modern and turn 3 in standard, he thinks. Granted, you have to have the perfect hand, but it's possible, which I find hilarious. So that's Tifa. Like, by herself, it's like, oh, that's pretty neat. You know, hand her some equipment and then she's ridiculous. No, it gets worse. But so Tifa's limit break is an uncommon instant for a single green again. The first tier is Somersault, which costs nothing extra. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Nice. Meteor Strikes for 2 extra, so 3 mana total. Double target creature's power and toughness until end of turn.
Oh, and toughness. I didn't see that part the first time.
Yeah. And then the final step of her limit break for 6 and a green extra, so 8. Triple target creature's power and toughness until end of turn. Tifa's limit break in Final Fantasy VII had lots of different, like as you gained more, it was a like a roulette, like a slot machine,
Mm-hmm.
and you could get lots of lots of attacks in a row to make her limit break just ridiculous. So with this one, you
So
can't
how would-
do all of them. You have to pick one. But still, if you could double and then triple, that's stupid. Don't do that.
So the real question is, what if you gave her the Genji gloves?
I haven't read the Genji glove. I just saw it. What's the Genji glove do?
So it's an artifact for 5 mana. It's rare. Equipped creature has double strike.
Oh,
Whenever equipped creature attacks, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, untap it. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase, and it equips for 3.
and it's got Gilgamesh on there doing his silliness. I must say, I quite enjoy these tussles. Because, yeah, the Genji equipment you can steal. Every time you meet Gilgamesh in Final Fantasy V, you can steal a different piece of Genji equipment from him.
Yeah.
That's
So,
cool.
Yeah.
So again, you're gonna have to fill me in on this. If an equipment has double strike and the creature has double strike, do they have
No.
4?
But first of all, Tifa's limit break doesn't give double strike.
Yeah, it just doubles target. Well, I'm just talking about her landfall.
Oh, that is also double power. It's not double strike.
Okay, it's not double strike. Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
So, like, the answer is if you give Tifa the Genji gloves, your opponents pucker.
I guess the technical to Dirk's question, a creature with more than one instance of double strike does
Just
not
has
deal
double
any
strike.
additional
Just has
damage.
double strike. Okay.
It just definitely has double strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like
If they have 2 versions of first strike, they don't get first strike. It's just first strike.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah. And if they have first strike and double strike, they just have double strike.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Tifa with the Genji gloves is terrifying.
And then a limit break.
Because, like, Terramorphic Expanse, sack it, go get another land. She becomes a 1/2, a 2/2, a 4/2, and then, so she's swinging for 8.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just the lowest tier thing you could do that's not just play a land and swing. So, I say again, just remember with Tifa, be sure to cast your pump spells first.
Yes.
Then play the land.
Yes.
So, okay, now let's go back up to black. Somebody tell us about Vincent and his limit break.
So Vincent's limit break for 1 and a black has tiered, obviously.
You don't want to tell us about Vincent first? Okay, fine.
Well, this is just what I had up. Do you want me to talk about Vincent first?
Yeah.
All right. So Vincent Valentine sounds like he's a mobster from like a flick in the 30s, you know.
I was thinking he sounded like a romance novel, sexy man.
Mm-hmm.
He does have a lot of leather, so
Like, yeah, he's got the leather and the mystery, and probably the word throbbing is going to be used.
there is much throbbing. So just capture that audio there. For 2 and 2 black, he is a 2/2 legendary assassin. Notice he doesn't have the human creature type, and there's a reason for that, because he's not really more. I'm kind of surprised he's not a mutant, but whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a number of +1/+1 counters on Vincent Valentine equal to that creature's power. Straight up, that's already kind of silly because usually it's like, oh, when something dies, this gets a +1/+1 counter. No, the bigger the thing was, the bigger Vincent gets. Whenever Vincent Valentine attacks, you may transform it. So you don't have to. But if you do, he kind of goes into his in-game limit break, which is not the card limit break, but he can transform into the Galleon Beast, which is a legendary werewolf beast. It is a 3/2 with trample and lifelink. When Galleon Beast dies, return it to the battlefield tapped front face up so it returns as Vincent. Notice that when you transform from Vincent into the Beast, you do not exile him. And that's important because it's in the middle of combat. It's also important because it doesn't lose the counters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it lost the counters, then if it did exile to transform, this card would be pointless and stupid. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
It
just
is
throwing that
also
out there.
important to notice that when it's transformed, it doesn't get new counters.
Correct.
So if something dies in combat, while the Galleon Beast is out, he just stays the way he is. So that is important.
He's no longer an assassin. He's just a rampaging mindless beast. But he's also a 3/2 with trample and lifelink. So
yeah.
that if they ever get around to killing, you do get Vincent back. I think the only time that he has any weakness at all is right after he's played. Before something has died, he's just a 2/2. That is your kill it moment right then and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then turning to Vincent's limit break for 1 and a black, tiered, you basically choose a form for him to take until end of turn. Target creature you control gains. When this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control, basically what the Galleon Beast does, and has the chosen base power and toughness. For 0, the first level of the tiered, is the Galleon Beast. It's a 3/2. Hey, look at the Galleon Beast. It's a 3/2. This is probably why you wanted me to do Vint first, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, yeah. But if you've got more mana, you can turn it instead into the Death Gygus. It costs 1 more mana for that, and it's a 5/2. Or, if you've got a decent amount of mana, you pay 3 more for a 7/2. Notice that the creature's toughness stays 2 at all times.
So I didn't use Vincent all that much back in the day when I played 7. He doesn't get any extra HP, does he? He just...
I don't think he does. I played with him quite a bit because I don't know, I wasn't an emo kid, but I could dig the whole I'm so dark vibe. And I liked that you got different beasts. There was one more beyond these. There was some sort of like winged creature he would turn to, like a chaos beast or something. So
I can't remember.
I don't think he got extra HP, but his attack would go through the roof. I don't think you could
one of his other
control
abilities,
him.
he turns into like a Frankenstein.
That's right. I don't think you can control him anymore, right? He kind of took on a
Okay.
berserk
Yes,
status.
you have no control over his attacks or anything like that.
Yeah, he's berserked. So the
Berserked.
Galleon Beast is level 1. Yeah, the Death Gig is the Frankenstein looking thing. That's level 2. Level
Okay.
3 is the Hellmasker, which is
like Jason Voorhees, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yes.
with a chainsaw. And then level 4 was Chaos, duh. It was a big, winged thing. Looks like Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I didn't put this on the screen for the chat to see. So here's, oh my god, here's what, stop that! Here's what they look like in game. So we've got a big purple, they look just like the art. Where'd it go? Like the Death Gigas is dead on. Not the Death Giga, the Galleon Beast. The Death Gigas, the one in the art, is not quite it. Oh yeah, there he is. Oh yeah, okay, looks just like him. And then the Hellmasker is hilarious. But I can see why they wouldn't want to do Chaos, because Chaos is already a card in the set. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Plus, having a 4th line on here would probably be a bit much.
It would.
But yeah, I don't
So, I
think
know
he
it's
gets more HP. I think he just transforms and then does stuff. And I think when he dies, or if he dies, I think he does just transform back into Vincent, right?
I can't remember.
I can't either, but I feel like that's right. Chat, someone somewhere will be like, no, stupid. I didn't use him. I used the Galleon Beast and realized that he had Berserk, and I'm like, get this idiot out of my party. So,
Okay, I see that it's definitely getting on. I know it's I know I don't want to keep Dark for too long. I have like 5 cards that I really want to get to, but I don't know how everybody else is doing.
I mean, anytime that anybody needs to bounce is fine, of course.
We have talked about artifacts, we've talked about equipment,
Why?
we haven't talked about the Buster Sword.
I thought we did that last week.
Thought we did too.
Did we?
Yeah,
I thought.
because we
Then
did that in the
I'm wrong.
Masamune.
Okay.
Did
All
we
right.
do?
I don't know if we talked about the Masamune.
I don't think we talked about the Masamune, no. We definitely talked about the Buster Sword last week, though.
Okay. If you're sure we talked about the Buster Sword, then all right. Oh, the Excalibur 2. I'm sorry, that I had a note. I was like, big sword. So, Excalibur 2.
Is
I
this
have
the one
mixed
from 9? It is
feelings
the one
about.
from 9. Yay!
It's the one from 9. Excalibur 2, the card is good. For a single mana to legendary equipment, it's rare. Whenever you gain life, put a charge counter on Excalibur 2. The equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each charge counter on Excalibur 2. It is equip of 3. The flavor text, I think, is the in-game description. The ultimate sword used by a legendary king. It was forged in another world. I like the card. I like the fact that you can just throw it out on turn 1, start gaining life, and it will gain the counters whether or not it is equipped. This represents, okay, there's some side quests like Blitzball, lightning dodging that I really struggle with, but this is one of the ones I have never done, no matter how many times I play 9,
It
because it is
is. Its existence means I will never platinum Final Fantasy IX. Like, I'm not going to get all the achievements because I'm fairly certain one of the achievements is get everybody's ultimate weapon. And I'm just not gonna.
This side quest is anathema to why I enjoy the game. And for those that don't know, um, Excalibur 2 is in one of the final screens of the game, one of the final parts of the final area. And if you do not get there by an in-game time of, I
12
don't know,
hours.
what, like 12 hours,
Yeah.
it's just gone by the time you get there. And I can be at like 50 plus hours by the time I get there. I realize I could save all of the grinding, everything for the end, but that to me would make playing the game entirely too stressful. Anytime I'd want to be like, oh, let me check out this active time event. I can't do that. I don't have time to do that. I guess I'll just have to not do that. I can't go check out these chests. I can't go check out this other half of the dungeon. And anytime I would hit like a tough boss that normally I'd be like, oh shoot, I'm having trouble beating this boss. Let me go gain a level or two. I don't have time to do that. It just, you can tell it kind of bothers me. It doesn't bother me in the sense that, like, I can enjoy the game without getting the weapon. I can. I just know, kind of like Chewie said, I'm never going to deal with it. But it is a nod. I like that this is here, and this, I think, is one of the only games where this sword exists. So it's a little like, hey, look at that. But as far as the in-game version, just going to always have to be like, nope.
Yeah. It's crap. I hate it. The card is great, but this card in or this weapon in 9, I hate it. Like 12 hours. Like it's possible, but that means you'd have to be doing a run for the sole purpose of getting this card or this weapon. card. It's not a
Yeah.
card in the game.
Blurring the lines here, man. So
And it just
yeah.
But then, I mean, you said it's near the end of the game. I mean, there's not a new game plus function or anything, is there? So you only get to play for it
Nope.
for a couple of encounters.
There is
Nope.
not a new game plus in 9. If it did, if 9 had a new game plus, that would make getting this, that would make it feel like, hey, great, you made it here. You've already heard the story, you know all that good stuff. That to me would make this much more bearable.
Yeah. But they didn't. New Game Plus didn't show up until in the Final Fantasies.
is there a new game plus in any Final Fantasies? I don't think there is.
The remake.
In 16, there's a new game plus. That's what I unlocked when I beat the game, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'll see to that later.
Yeah, because there's not really a New Game Plus with 15.
No.
So yeah, I would say the 7 remake is the first time they did a New Game Plus.
Now, according to the internet here, Final Fantasy Remastered, Final Fantasy IX Remastered, which is, I think, the one on Steam. It's probably the one that's widely available everywhere now. Makes this easier because you can skip cutscenes, you can turn off random encounters, you can stat boost your party members so you fight enemies quicker, you can disable the battle intros, because this is on the in-game clock. And you can speed up the game by up to 5 times without affecting the in-game clock. So on Remastered, it's significantly easier to do, but that still means that you're doing an entire run-through of the game for the sole purpose of getting this one weapon. And I've done stuff like that in other games, but this is a Final Fantasy, like, turn-based RPG. Like,
It feels like it defeats the point.
yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
You
granted,
have to
once
level
you...
grind just so your character's on level to fight the bosses.
But you don't
Well,
have time to level grind.
Yeah, I know.
Once you get to this point, like, where you want to go for it, I'm sure you've got all the knowledge and that you need. This isn't something you go for in your first attempt unless you're a crazy, like, YouTube platinum trophy person. They exist.
They do. Okay. While we are still in artifacts, if anybody else has cards they want to talk about, jump in. I just want to make sure, because I think next time we're going to go with the commander decks. So I'm trying to just mention the ones that really stuck out to me.
Yeah,
From 15...
We should do the Masamune since you mentioned it.
The Masamune?
Yep. Masamune.
If you want to say it wrong, yeah.
That's always how I pronounced it, so...
Well, anyway, I'll read it.
Yeah,
and
read
then
it.
after that, I'm going to bounce.
Okay.
Read it and
So,
bounce,
the
Jack.
Masamune. For 3, it's a legendary artifact equipment that's rare. As long as equipped creature is attacking, it has first strike and must be blocked if able. Equipped creature has, if a creature dying causes a triggered ability on this creature or an emblem you own to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. And it equips for 2.
Real quick, Sephiroth definitely cares about things dying, doesn't he?
Yes.
I can't remember what he does. He's in black, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sephiroth. Whenever another creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Yep. Okay. Oh, hang on. He says, where'd it go? If this is the 4th time this ability has resolved this turn, does the Masamune affect that?
Yeah, because it causes it to trigger an additional time.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Well,
I like the fact that the creature wielding the sword must be blocked because it's so dang long. Like, even if they weren't thinking they were going to block, they don't really have a choice.
I saw an altar of this card where the blade had been extended down into the text box and off the edge of the card. And I didn't know it was an altar. And I was like, that's pretty funny. And now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, that's too bad. Like, I legit thought they did that on the card art because that would be, appropriate.
That's great.
Oh, Sephiroth. Yeah, the backside of Sephiroth makes an emblem, doesn't he? Oh, okay. Gross.
The emblem would not trigger more than once.
Yeah, it does.
No,
Yeah.
that's what the
'Cause
Masamune says.
it specifically says an emblem you own.
Oh. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna have to bounce before too long. Dirk, you're heading out.
Yes, sir. Well,
Okay.
I'm going to a pre-release myself. Mine's going to be at the Toy Factory.
Awesome.
So
great time.
Word?
yeah, I'm going to give this a shot. We'll see what happens.
When is the last time that you went to a pre-release?
I think that's all you need to hear. Right there.
That's exactly what I needed.
I'm
So
like-
yeah.
I think it might have been like what was the third block of Ravnica?
Which Ravnica block?
Well,
The original.
The
Oh, the
original one? Are you sure?
I don't know. Well, no. Mike and I did a two-headed giant at some place. I think that for Cold Snap. Was that before Ravnica or after?
That was after Ravnica. But that
Was
was
it after or
like
during?
Because I remember Mike looked at like we were doing a two-headed giant or something, and we were looking at our stuff, and Mike took essentially said, took my cards and made magic happen. Because he had stuff, and he looked at my stuff and was like, here, let me do this. And he took my stuff, and we ended up killing them that turn. I was like, good job there, Mike. Glad I could help.
so
That was Time Spiral. One of the Time
Was that what it
Spirals
was? Time Spiral?
when you and I did Two at a Giant. And I don't know. Yeah.
It was somewhere in there. That's the last time I think I did a pre-release.
good lord. I knew it'd been a
Oh,
long
yeah.
time. I didn't think it'd been that long.
okay.
Did
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because Because after college, I don't know if I did any pre-release that thing because it had to have been something I was interested in to actually go to it, and I don't think there was anything I was interested in going and doing a pre-release for because it was as soon as they stopped doing the big ones.
You didn't do any Lorewyn or Shadowmoor?
Mm-mm. Because as soon as they stopped doing the big ones, I stopped going to them.
really?
Mm-hmm. There you go. Well, I'm going to head off. You guys all have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to doing a pre-release.
For the first time in 7 forevers.
Yeah, almost
Very
20
late.
years.
Good night, Dirk.
Good night, everyone.
Night, Zerk. Good lord.
So, if you guys are still up for a little bit more, from 15, the one that's about 4 dudes taking a road trip, you can't not have the car,
The car?
is the regalia. Have you seen the regalia?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. It's are you reading it or ask one of us to read it?
Go right ahead.
Okay. It's a vehicle. It's a rare vehicle that costs 4 for a 4/4, and it has haste. Uh, it has a crew of just one. Whenever the regalia attacks, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So you're
Road trip.
exploring the countryside. Yeah, road trip, uncovering new places as you go. It's pretty cool.
Okay, I have not been
I like the
paying
fact that it
attention.
has haste.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've not been paying attention to vehicle balancing. Is a 4-4 with haste that only cruise for 1? Is that a lot?
It costs 4, so it's good. It's not Smuggler's Copter level, but it is good.
Well, Smuggler's Copter was ridiculous for so many other reasons.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just thinking of like power and toughness and crew cost with haste thrown in. I'm like,
Yeah. That is good.
I think
Like,
it is.
never
pretty
mind
good
the
as well.
ridiculous ability. Because repeatable, that's ridiculous. Was it in the commander set that was the not Smuggler's Copter chat? Because. Oh, or was it Adventurer's Airship? There's a. Because there's a not Smuggler's Copter somewhere in here. No, not the Struggler's Copter. That was the one in the middle.
Yeah, the airship has the draw a card, discard a card.
Yeah, so for 3 mana, it's a common 3/2 flying vehicle. When it attacks, you draw a card and discard a card, and it crews for 2. Guess the comparison is Asika's Chariot. I'm guessing that's in a commander set.
It was originally from Kaldheim. I think.
Oh.
Is that right?
Oh, see. Since Infinia said it, I figured it was a card from 14. Anyway, what else we got? Did we do Phoenix Down last week or last time?
I
don't think
I
so.
feel like we did, but go ahead.
Because I really love Phoenix Down. Because Phoenix Down, is the item that you use to bring someone back from when they're dead or knocked out or whatever the equivalent is in and out of combat. So Phoenix Down for a single white is an uncommon artifact, and for 1 a white, tap and exile this artifact. You choose one. Either return target creature card with mana value 4 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Perfect. Or exile target skeleton, spirit, or zombie. Amazing. Because the other thing you can do with a Phoenix Down is use it to insta-kill an enemy that's got the undead tag.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great. Nice and simple, but it's another like flavorful in-game item. So
Yeah.
how many side quests did we not do?
I think we did all the side quests.
I didn't. I think we only did 1. I thought only the fishing one had even appeared, and then the other 4.
We did play Blitzball last week.
We did play
episode.
Yeah, you're right. We got the Blitzball.
But I think that's it. Do we care?
I love this set, but I am rapidly running out of steam.
Oh my god. Okay, then before Brian leaves, we need to do Triple Triad.
We need to do Triple Triad. Yes, we do.
Because we didn't talk about Triple Triad yet. So, Brian, you're the one that's played 8. Tell us about Triple Triad.
Triple Triad. Am I the only one that played 8? Triple Triad was actually a really interesting game where you were set up like on a tic-tac-toe type board, but you would collect these cards, and There were common cards that represented the monsters, but there were also unique cards, one for each of the main characters, like the people that were in your party. And they were generally much stronger than the other cards. And you would essentially try to capture and control as much of the tic-tac-toe board as you could. It was really fun and entertaining, but as you traveled between different regions, they would have different local rules, and some of them were just weird. And the game got complicated by the end, so it wasn't as great, but I really did enjoy it. So it's the card game within the game. So here it's presented through a card game. So triple triad, 3 and 3 red. It's a red rare enchantment. You know this is going to be great. At the beginning of your upkeep, so for one turn it does nothing. But at the beginning of your upkeep, each player exiles the top card of their library. Until end of turn, you may play the card you own, exiled this way, and each other card exiled this way with lesser mana value than it without paying their mana costs. So it's a you always get your card, and if your card is more expensive, is more powerful in the triple triad game than the other cards, you take them over, which is how triple triad works.
It's so great.
I really like this card, even though it does nothing for just a little bit.
If this card was printed 20 years ago, it would be symmetric. and, and whoever revealed the highest card would get to do all the fun stuff. But thank goodness it was printed today.
So yeah, that's triple triad. It's a red rare enchantment that does silly things, but it is so flavorfully triple triad. I love it. So Mike, you got anything else? Because we already lost Dirk, and Brian is fading fast. He's just sort of staring off into space.
Oh, we covered everything important for tonight, I think.
I do want to mention because
Aha.
I'm trying to pull it together here, since I'm the one that played 16. Dion in white. So as I think we had talked about before, in this world, like Clive, wow, I'm really gonna try to keep it together. The espers are tied to individual humans, dominance, and there's one kind of in each element. Um, and like Phoenix is in fire and Shiva's in ice and all that sort of thing. And they are massive, massive creatures, but they generally don't show up. About once a generation, a person is born as a dominant with the ability to become, to prime, or to become that icon or that esper for limited periods of time. And when they do that, they're extremely powerful, but they run their life down significantly. Casting mana in this world will eventually result in your petrification and death. So it's kind of a curse. But dominance can last longer than normal bears, and so we saw Clive already. I think we talked about Jill, but I'm not sure. But I definitely want to talk about Dion, Bahamut's dominant. For 3 and a white, he is a 3/3 human noble knight. He is definitely a dragoon in the game, and in the card game, he gives all of your guys dragoon ability. Um, Dragonfire Dive. During your turn, Dion and other knights you control have flying. So let's all jump up together. When Dion enters, create a 2/2 white knight creature token. And for 4 and 2 white, tap and exile Dion, then return it to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery. And he becomes Bahamut, Warden of Light, because Bahamut represents the holy or light mechanic game. He's a 5/5 with flying. Chapters 1 and 2 are Wings of Light. Put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. Those creatures gain flying until end of turn. And then chapter 3 is Giga Flare.
Naturally.
Destroy target permanent. Exile Bahamut, then return it to the battlefield front face up. Clive, Jill, and Dion all have final chapters that return them to their human side. So I like this. I like that it's a knight enabler because sometimes the other knights will have flying and sometimes they won't, but with Dion, they all have flying during your turn. They all have that jump. And I like that.
It is pretty good.
That was pretty much the last one I wanted to talk about. Ultima is here, not Ultima the creature, but Ultima the spell as a wipe. But it is interesting that it's a wipe kind of time stop, but it's a sorcery. So I feel like that's almost a drawback on your turn. I don't know. Mike, you want to talk about Ultima and tell us what you think about it? Because I feel like it makes my head hurt, even when I'm not tired.
All right, sure. It's a rare sorcery, costs 3 white white. Destroy all artifacts and creatures, end the turn.
Yep.
And there's a bunch of reminder text reminding you what it means exactly to skip straight to the end of the turn.
So,
I mean,
what you think?
it's good. I think it's really good that it catches all artifacts too. And it's not like a modal like, oh, choose one, destroy all creatures or destroy all artifacts. That'd be cool, but catching everything is more generally useful in a lot of instances. Now, I don't know how useful the ending the turn part is really going to be. That might be I don't know, that might be a balancing thing, really.
Yeah, maybe.
In exchange for getting to destroy all artifacts and creatures for just 5 mana. So that you can't just, so you can't refill the board after you wipe it. Or at least it's harder since your turn ends.
That's how I read it as well, just because, again, one of the things you do with a wipe is if you have enough mana, you're like, destroy all these creatures and then play my own creature. And this, or blink my guy, wipe everything out. Question: if I play a blink effect and it says at the beginning of the next end step, return that creature to the battlefield, does Ultima still bring it back, or does it just hang out there forever?
It'll have to wait because ending the turn skips to the cleanup step, so you skip past the end step. And you
Okay.
just straight up end the turn.
So yeah, it's probably a balancing thing.
So it'll wait for the next end step that actually happens.
So, Brian,
Yes, sir.
there you go. Chat is desperately wanting you to read the Black Side Quest.
The Black Side Quest. Ah, yeah. Sorry. So I saw this card and I thought we had talked about it on the show. I think I went over it with Sam, and I'm like, all right. First of all, it's great for what it represents, and in limited, it is also a really good removal spell. You may never flip it, but I really like it. So I'm in black. Remind me what it's called.
Side Quest.
Side quest hunt the. I may have to go to bed after this one. So side quest hunt the mark, and this is from 12. There's a number of Final Fantasies where it's like a quest, but this one's from 12. For 3 and 2 black, it's an enchantment. It's uncommon. When this enchantment enters, destroy up to 1 target creature. Hey, that's that guy. Go get him. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died under an opponent's control this turn, create a treasure token. That's your prize for completing the mark. Get it? Then, if you control 3 or more treasures, transform this enchantment. And it turns into Yasmat, Ultimate Mark. Legendary creature dragon is a 5/6. It does not have flying. In the game, in 12, it did not have flying. It didn't need it. 1 and a black. Sacrifice another creature or artifact. Yasmat. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Gained indestructible until end of turn. Tap it. This is the final hunt in the game. There's maybe one that's tied with it as far as like how much time it takes to finish it. There's a sorcerer in a tower, but Yasmat takes literal human hours to defeat. And if you leave the area where this battle takes place, I believe it regains all of its hit points. Plus, the area is littered with invisible traps that if your party members just wander into, they might get hurt or die. And I believe they repopulate at random times. So, yes, it's an honor to fight this thing. It's also a giant pain in the butt. It doesn't fly because, again, in the game, it doesn't fly. It's in this Colosseum, and it takes up the Colosseum.
Mhm.
So, I think it was also named after one of the producers of the game, but that might be a bit more of a deep dive.
Neat.
So, I like it. All right,
I am marking out here.
I'm gonna go because I am very tired. This set is awesome, and I look forward to seeing Mike tomorrow, and hopefully Chewy for
I
a
was gonna
minute
say,
if
what
he
about
has a chance
me?
to stop by. All right, I'll see you guys then. Have a good one.
Night B. Much like Ultima, Brian just skipped his end step
Yeah.
and went straight to cleanup. Oh well. So, Mike, you got anything else?
Actually, there was one last card that I wanted to highlight. It's Cactuar, the regular Cactuar, not the giant one.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the Cactuar, did we?
Yeah, it's really cool. I like it a lot.
Like he's so
For
cute.
I know it's an uncommon for a single green mana. It's a 3/3 plant with trample. At the beginning of your end step, if this creature didn't enter the battlefield this turn, return it to its owner's hand.
So yeah, this was posted in the Discord, and I was like, what's the flavor here on the Cactuar? And people in there were like,
It runs
because
away.
they run away. I went,
Yeah.
I don't remember. Okay.
Yeah, if you don't beat them in time, they run away.
Like I remember, the only thing I remember about Cactuars is that they're freaking hard to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Like their evasion is, in some games anyway, the ones I remember, is just through the roof, and actually trying to kill the little bastards is obnoxious. I'd completely forgotten about them running away.
Yeah.
So yeah. But as a 3/3 with trample for 1, I mean you only get 1 attack with it, but it costs 1. Like
It's great.
Like what else could you want? I will play this on turn 1 and then swing with it on turn 2 every day.
Yeah. Have the Cactuar fly the airship,
Hell
Possibilities
yeah.
are
Get your ass in this boat, nerd. And then next turn swing with him. Right, because crewing works that way, right?
correct.
Yeah. Oh, because that's an ability on the equipment. Look, now I'm getting tired. Yeah. It's not an equipment, it's a vehicle. Wrong word.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Yeah, I know what you meant.
And look, now Mike is yawning. Oh my god.
That happened fast, didn't it?
So I'm sure that we missed things that people are going to be like, I can't believe you didn't talk about. I can't either, to be honest. There's just too much. But I think we're going to be done now. Like, did we talk about Black Waltz number 3?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I'm gonna finish on it then. So Black Waltz number 3 for 2 of black and a red is an uncommon legendary wizard. Who's a 2/2 with flying and death touch. Which, yep. And whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Black Waltz number 3 deals 2 damage to each opponent because it's a black wizard, and that's what black wizards do in this game or in this set. But I just love that the Black Waltz got a card. Like, there are so many named characters in like Final Fantasy IV, and where's that? Whoops. Like in 4 and 11 and 12 that just didn't get named.
Mm-hmm.
But at least Black Waltz got a card for 9 because it's such a big part of the early part of the story. And the flavor text is, "You fool! Do I look like some lowly black mage soldier?" Maybe. Shut up. But oh my god. Oh. Well, I'm dead. Sorry, Mike, you're gonna have to wrap this one up yourself because I just died. Alright, were there any... I don't think there were any other lands that were worth talking about, right? I think we got all the ones that did important things.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my face. That did damage, Mike. I like, not just psychic damage. Ugh. Alright then. So, before I forget, hopefully by the time this goes live, then this other thing will have gone live too. I have made yet another YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me put up the 404s on the 2 dorks that aren't here. It's called TMP Streams. And I just decided I would throw that up to put streams where, you know, for things that matter or things that are, you know, narrative or something like that, in case anybody wants to watch them.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to put up all, like, my Balacho streams or anything like that. But anything that I want to be sure I have access to in the future, you know, just in case. So that's where, at the moment, the Baldur's Gate streams are going to go. And I found out, Mike, that you can only export from Twitch either 6 or 7 videos at a time before it goes, no. And I also found out it takes forever. It takes so long to export a 4-hour stream from Twitch to YouTube. Just hours for it to... It shows up on the channel immediately, and then it goes, and then eventually it says upload 0%, and it stays at upload 0% for hours, and then it's done. Like, that percentage does not increase, and it doesn't tell you when it switches from upload to processing. Nope.
Right.
It just says upload 0%, and then hours later you check it, and it's like, good. But I've got them all there. I just haven't cleaned up any of the titles and descriptions or anything like that. But for anyone that's interested in my Baldur's Gate 3 streams, that's where those will be. So really, this is solely for Mycroft, who is like, well, if you'd put it somewhere, if it was going to be somewhere I could watch it, I'd watch him. Finally, I was like, you know what? I've actually been meaning to do something like that for a while. Okay, I'll do it. So yeah, I'll try to remember to drop the link down in the massive links and put it on the link tree, which is where themanapool.com goes, by the way. Don't forget, go to themanapool.com. It's got all the links to everything. Go follow me on BlueSky. And the gram. Do people still do Instagram? I don't know. But follow me there too. Because I don't Twitter anymore because it's owned by a Nazi and is loaded with bots and Nazis and botsies. Like, I think they're bot Nazis too. Like, every 3 days or so, I go into my direct messages and just block and report just a ridiculous number of spam crap that I've been added to. So, yeah. But yeah, like I said, it's called TMP. That's for the Manapool. Yeah, TMP streams. So go check that out if you're at all interested. Then, like I said, that's where stuff that's narrative will go. Stuff that I wanna hold on to. Because hard drive space on my computer is, I've got a lot of like hard drives, and they're all starting to fill up with all of these streams that I download and like hang on to in case I need it for some sort of thing I want to do in the future. And it's getting ridiculous. So I'm just going to start exporting them to the YouTube channel so that I have them. But I didn't want to clog up the main channel, and I didn't want to put them on the deep end. That doesn't make sense. So I don't expect this to ever get up enough subscribers to, monetize. So they're just going to be there. They're just going to be there. Yeah. But all right then. So, while we're talking, hey, don't forget to go to patreon.com/themanapool to become a lifeguard. Oh, and I forgot I haven't done an episode since, or we haven't done an episode since, but thanks so much to everybody who helped out with the Damn the Man Save the Pool fundraiser. We managed to get there, and I was able to, well, things have been kind of shaky here lately. I couldn't figure out how to get the money from the Tiltify account to my bank account. Like, could not figure it out. I poked around everywhere in the site I could, and all it said was balance 0, payout 0. And I'm like, how can I have a 0 balance? So I went to search engines, and it turns out they hold it for 14 days, and then you get payouts every day. So I got my second one today into the bank account, which is good because the bank account was in the double digits, and I'm like, I still have bills, and because of all the I had to pay off the taxes and whatnot, and move a bunch of stuff out of my savings. But the fundraiser is coming through, and so it's gonna get me back to balanced out. So thank you so much for everyone who helped out with that, and everyone who just came by the stream to hang out, because I was streaming during the day. I'm probably gonna do some more daytime streaming of Baldur's Gate 3 and like play other stuff at night. I think that'll be the plan going forward. So, yeah. Thank you all seriously so much. It meant so much to see that that little bar fill all the way up to the target achieved, and I was like, what? So, I love you all. But while we're doing the financial thing, hey, patreon.com/themanapool. I've got odds and ends to post. I think I'm 2 or 3 behind again, but only 2 or 3. Not like 15. So I'll catch up on those here shortly. But let me thank my mythic lifeguards, as I do in, I don't know, this order. Thanks to Kim Ho, Jason Doan, Jake Jansons, Team New Hellas Haryu, Jason Kaus, Al, Casey, Michael, Scuzzo, ALK Alters, Violet Moon, and Andrew Odie. Yay. Yeah, as Chifuji pointed out, Patreon is where you can throw money outside of the fundraiser. So if you want to help out, that's the primary place to go. Or Twitch subscriptions, that helps too. Yeah, hell yeah. Oh yeah, and it's June, so happy Pride, everybody.
Yeah.
There was a I don't think I sent it to you dorks because you dorks don't care. But there was a one of those random summer, not quite storms, but not just a shower today, and there was a massive full ass rainbow
That's cool.
over Kernersville, and I managed to stop in a place where I could see the whole thing, and I snapped a picture of it. Dropped it in the Discord. I was like, yay! This town is so gay. It must be, because look at that big ass rainbow. So, if you don't like it, sucks to be you. Mike, have you seen that Pride Month where the PRI and the TH get knocked off and it just says demon and it's got this like rainbow colored demon thing?
No, I haven't seen.
Like that was made to be like anti-Pride. Oh, the Pride Month has got demon in it, and it is the hardest like pro Pride Month thing I've ever seen. Like it makes Pride
awesome.
look freaking awesome. Like look at that rainbow demon. Yeah. He's gay as hell and loving it. Sucks to be you, right-wing idiots. You made the hardest pro Pride Month thing ever.
That's great.
I'll have to find it and send it to you, so you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty great. Let's see. Is that it? What you got, Mike? You got anything?
It's gonna be nice to see Brian and Samantha at the event tomorrow. It's been too long since I last did one of these things myself.
How long's it been since you saw Sam?
Not too long.
That's good.
Ashley and I went to hang out with them one Saturday a few weeks ago.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Trying to think, was it Dominaria United the last pre-release I went to? Might have been.
I got nothing. The last one I went to was the last one that I went when I swung by to see Brian and Sam. Again, I didn't play, but I went to say hi.
Yeah.
And for those of you watching the video version, here is that awesome Pride Demon. Dropped it in the Discord for you, Mike. Like
That's pretty good.
That is so gay and so awesome. I freaking love it. Like, put that on a shirt, and I'll wear it. Anyway, but it'll be nice to see you guys because I'm absolutely gonna swing by and say hi. Since it doesn't start till 7, I've got time to actually dash, so I don't have to miss any money.
Right.
Because the fundraiser came through, but that was for the money that I'd already spent, and so I was flat freaking broke.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So now I'm back to even-ish. Ish. Even-ish enough to where so last year over the summer, this probably shouldn't be on the show, but what the hell, Last year over the summer, I didn't get to take the kid and her friend to Carowinds. So 3 years ago, I took the kid to Carowinds.
Right.
And then the next year, I took the kid and her friend to Carowinds, and we had a blast. And then last year was when Renee was in the hospital a bunch with her lungs, and I had the stupid kidney stone issue, which means I missed a lot of dashing, which means I was massively short on money all summer.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to take him, and I felt really bad. So this year, I should be okay enough to be able to buy a ticket to Carowinds, and I'm gonna take the kid and her boyfriend to Carowinds. I like him. He said I was a cool older person.
Oh, good.
There was Amanda had a housewarming get together thing where friends come over and hang out,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I got to meet the kid's boyfriend. And I was sitting there talking to them about video games instead of all the adults, like they're like 15 and 16 or something like that. I was like, I feel like I'm kind of stunted because I'm sitting here talking to you two about video games instead of all the adults and whatnot talking about adult things. And Jet goes, well, they got old and became boring, whereas you got old and stayed cool. And I was like, oh, 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 oh. It's like, I think the difference is I didn't have kids and have my dreams get stepped on, but I don't want to say that to kids.
Yeah.
But it's official, Mike. I'm cool. Ha!
I'll remember that.
Will you though? I don't know if
That
you
one
should.
I might be able to manage.
I don't know if you should remember that.
Oh.
It'll just go to my head.
Okay.
Goodness knows we don't want that. Anyway, sorry. I keep interrupting your final thought because you keep zoning out.
No, that was the extent of it.
No, fair enough. All right, then. So, with that, we will end this very long episode of the Manapool, number 727. Holy crap. Yeah, for everyone that, I guess by the time this goes public, for everyone that went to a pre-release, let us know in the comments or in the Discord or, BlueSky, whatever, how it went, what'd you play, what ridiculous crap did you open? Because for once, I'll be like, really? Cool. Because, these will stick in my head, unlike other Magic stuff lately. And yeah, hope everybody has fun, had fun, whatever. Trying to speak from the present to the people in the future is weird. About the past, which is still my future. Now my nose is bleeding. Anyway, thank you all so very much for joining us. And don't be a galleon beast. Do be a galleon beast? I don't know. I got nothing.